It was a really, really fun year, I will say that. Winning is a lot of fun, but I'm excited to be here today to talk with you all. It is a special room of people. What a team. And the Seattle Storm are excited to share more than the wins on the court. So that video was a lot of fun for us. When Van and I started talking, I just want to give another shout to Van. Van, please stand. Van is a powerhouse in Seattle. I was hoping to see Richard today too. They are courtside with the Seattle Storm. But I was so very excited to have the opportunity to talk with you all today because the Boys and Girls Club is a really important part of my childhood and has a very, very special place in my heart. So I thought I'd start from the beginning. You know, rain, snow, or shine, my identical twin sister, Alexa, both of us begged to be dropped off at 354 West Jefferson Street in Valparaiso, Indiana. We knew there we could sprint into the Boys and Girls Club and play basketball. You know, it really, truly was a huge part of our beginning. Now in Indiana, they throw you a ball before you can walk. So it's true. And they actually had rims at the club that would go down to about 6 feet. So, like good little Hoosiers, we were actually playing full court competitive basketball by the time we were 3. I distinctly remember the day that we got to play on the 10-foot hoops. We were 6 years old. We were rocking bright pink Chuck tees. Give that one to my mother. We also grew up, so we grew up playing in the club, but I also grew up in a household with 6 kids. So 2 sets of identical twin girls. Yes. So the quick punchline there, we won't even wait for it, is that my mother actually is a superhero. She was also an incredible coach, my greatest, and I have been so fortunate to have incredible coaches along my journey. But we were taught very early on how to value others and how important it was that everybody had an important role on the team. How that mattered. It didn't actually matter, it was critical to winning. We were learning that in the household. We were also learning that at the Boys and Girls Club in Valparaiso. I think about our time there. I mentioned to my twin sister, we talk daily. I mentioned to her that I was coming here to talk with you all, which opened up this really cool space for us to talk about all our memories at the Boys and Girls Club. And really what it did was it opened up a space for us to talk about some of the incredible lessons we learned there that you don't really fully understand until much later. My twin sister is also a CEO. She runs the North Valley Community Foundation in Northern California. She is currently leading the efforts to rebuild Chico and Paradise after the devastation of the Camp Fire. Yes, thank you. Give it up to my twin and to everybody that's working so hard on that. But this gave us a really cool chance. We talk business all the time. We love to talk about leadership. We talk about high-performing teams, the intersection of doing good with our work. It was really powerful to talk about the Boys and Girls Club and what we were learning there. And so many of the speakers prior have talked about these key lessons, but I thought I'd share mine with you as well. We learned how important inclusion was, and that it is truly a strength and not a weakness. We also learned the power of kindness. Too often, we overlook this one when we talk about great leaders. Leaders are kind. Kindness is a force. And it's something we need to continue to highlight. In great leadership on teams, it matters deeply. And then lastly, love. It is the strongest force. It is far greater than the counter. In a world that constantly talks about fear and hate, love does win. Yeah, let's give it up for that. Thank you. You know, I'd venture to say in Boys and Girls Clubs, all over the country, these lessons are still being taught in those sacred walls because it's not actually the kids that are different. It's the environment. The Boys and Girls Club creates a space that is safe for kids. They're loved and they're seen. They're truly seen for who they are. And we all know in this journey that is tough. And they learn the powerful space of play. I watch all of our little Stormies hustle in on game days. They play in our camps, they play in our clinics. Kids are good. Kids are loving. Kids are optimistic. This is how kids start. And it's our job. It's our job to create space for them to grow into that kindness, to grow into that love, and to continue to hope. I think we owe it to our children, and I know so many of you feel this way, to create a space for them to thrive. We do owe it to them to talk about challenging and difficult times, but we have got to give them a break from the magnitude of the stress we're under and the stress this world is under. The Boys and Girls Club does that. There is so much work to be done. 10 minutes of the news any day will remind us of that. But I do wonder sometimes if we'd be further along the path if we all had a chance to be a part of one of these clubs. So much of my experience in Valparaiso, Indiana, in that brick building, have actually shaped who I am today and how I lead. I am incredibly grateful. The Seattle Storm play in a space that is not far removed from that of the Boys and Girls Club. We want to offer families, we want to offer fans of this great city exceptional entertainment. But we're committed to staying grounded in what we represent, which is far greater than basketball and reaches far beyond the court. Professional women's basketball in this city is possible because of the values and the soul of Seattle and all of you. When the Sonics were sold, which is a touchy subject, I know, and on their way to Oklahoma City, 4 season ticket holders, 4 women, for those of you that don't know this story, 4 women in the stands got together and said, we're gonna buy the team. They hadn't owned a professional women's basketball team, they hadn't run a team, they had no experience with it, but they were 4 dominant businesswomen that believed the team belonged in Seattle, belonged in a city that deeply believes in inclusion, equality, and diversity. And we're committed to standing up for what's right and for what's needed, no matter what. I believe that connects so many of us in the room today. I'm honestly overwhelmed by how good people are. You're in this room today to support a safe space for children. So with that, I just do want to give it up to you guys. I have to give a shout to my team today. So if you're with the Storm, please stand. Day in and day out, this crew. Thank you. Day in and day out, and we've got a ton at the front office. This crew work on platforms, and we have a number of partners in the room today, so thank you for being here as well. But they work on platforms that happen off the court, not on game nights, where we're working together with our partners to empower youth. I'm reminded daily of what this work is really about. Every time I see a little one donning a Sue Bird jersey or a Megan Rapinoe jersey, I'm reminded of the power of sports and play for good. Those little ones may not know that not long ago, we didn't have a women's professional jersey to wear. And those little guys that now grow up watching strong women, women of color, women from all over the globe playing in sports, this confident space of sports. Those little guys don't have to be taught that equality is right. They are growing up with it. I want to share a quick story with you. Last season, Game 5 of the semifinals, for those of you that were in it with us, it was a tough semifinals against Phoenix. Yes. So it's game morning, I'm grabbing a coffee at the coffee shop, and this guy kind of runs up to me and says, "Big game tonight." Yeah. I'm like, "Yep." On my way to shoot around, he said, "We woke up and my house was chanting playoffs this morning. And then we're having cereal at the table, and my 6-year-old son announced to the family that when he grows up, he wants to be Sue Bird." The little dude said that to Dad and his siblings at the table. I'm pretty sure I walked out of the coffee shop pumped, in tears. I'm like, that is real change. Those moments show the power of sports to make a positive impact. Whether it's how we treat one another, whether it's how we value one another, respect one another, those moments show us that our little boys and girls are reshaping the world, one that is more equitable, one that is more fair, and one that is more loving. I am wildly grateful to lead this city's professional basketball team, and I am grateful to be a part of the team behind the Boys and Girls Club. The work you are all doing matters. And lastly, I just want to say the force of love and good is so much greater than any other. In a world that often reminds us why we shouldn't get along, I hope we lock arms and double down on the good. I also hope to see you courtside next year. Thank you, guys.